Hello, everyone out there in podcast world. I hope you're having a great day. You're listening to the Service Business Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Tersh. Today's episode, I have an exciting one. Josh Kelly here with Review Kangaroo, but that's not the only thing. I mean, this guy, he's done a lot of stuff, but I'm super excited for him to talk to you today. If you aren't familiar with any kind of review platform or, managing your online reputation or reputation management in general, it's extremely important. And I'm excited to talk to Josh today and get some information from you. So anyways, welcome to the show, Josh.
Well, thanks so much, man. I'm excited to be here. And Review Kangaroo is my latest adventure, but I've had quite a few over the years. I come from the home service space, which I know you know, but probably no one else does.
So tell us a little bit about you, because for those people who are listening that don't know who you are.
Yeah, so I grew up in the industry. I mean, I was, I dug ditches and I did HVAC installs over the summers, right? But my family owns a company called Paker and Sons here in Phoenix. So I ran the marketing and some of the operations, and essentially we grew our business from, I would say a large business. It was $6.5 million. To this year, we should do, we're on track to hit 124.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I think makes us, one of the largest, if not the largest, single city markets, single city companies.
Oh,
we're
wow.
just
So you're only in Phoenix.
Yeah, we're only in Phoenix, man.
Man.
And that growth, by the way, was, this will be the 15th year, I guess. I've been doing this a long time.
That's still crazy to do that in 15 years. That's a big old jump in 15 years.
Well, we grew about 30% every single year. So it adds up pretty quick.
So with that growth, how large is Phoenix? I mean, I've never been there before, but I can't imagine it being huge. You must have a huge market share.
No, we have, I would consider it a huge market share. But if we had to do the math on it, we think we have about 6% market share, which is kind of crazy.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. Phoenix is a big city. I think it's the 5th or 6th largest city in the United States. It doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but it's a big city for sure. It's very spread out, which causes its own advantages and disadvantages. But it's not a small market. It's not a Santa Fe or Tucson.
I mean, just ignorance is bliss over here on the East Coast. I just didn't know how big your city was. That's for sure. So do y'all only offer HVAC services or? No, we do HVAC, plumbing. We launched electrical recently, and then we do water treatment as well.
Okay. And, as you grow, right, you get a good customer base. Cross-selling is a great way to add revenue, add team members, and really help the customer out more too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the big things that I'm learning here. I'm actually at CEO Warrior, and so we might hopefully don't have too much background noise, but we might have a little bit of background noise from getting rowdy out here. But that's one of the things that we've really talked about a lot is you're already in the home, and so why not offer more trades, even if it's affiliate marketing, like if you have a friend that has a great program, and any of the listeners that if you don't know what affiliate marketing is, you just develop those relationships. You share, your clients with other people, make sure you trust them, obviously. And then, they do the same in return.
Yeah. Think about it when I describe to people, I think about lead generation, right? A lot of people buy leads from a home advisor, or, there's so many places you can buy leads. We can list them all there, right? But you already have customers and you have people that do amazing service. Why not be that home advisor that actually works, right? And actually recommends a great company and actually takes care of the customer. It reflects better on you because you're helping take care of them in a more serious way and helping out. And it's a happier customer. And by the way, you make a little money off of it too. So
yeah. And people come to you as you're the expert, you're the connector between the two. And so that makes you more powerful in your own community also. And so
absolutely. It's about delivering value, right? If you just deliver enough value, people will keep coming back to you. So that's why I do podcasts, right?
Absolutely. 100%. So what was your role in that growth? I
did all the marketing. I ran some of the operations. So, it sounds crazy, but at one point we're down to 3.5% budget for marketing, and like we had under $12 cost per leads.
Wow.
We were destroying it. And what happened really is a combination of a bunch of things, right? Marketing was going really well, but we were also getting really great like branding. We were having a lot of follow through. We were making the most out of every single customer. We had a high closing percentage. We had a high average ticket. We had high repeat usage. And what happened is when we got better at closing more business in the home and creating a better customer experience, it became easier to market, and it became cheaper to market. And when it became cheaper to market, I could get more leads, which meant more calls that I made more money off of anyway, right? So it became this snowball where, the first year, it's like a lot of people ask me, how'd you get to 100 million? Because we did 100 million last year, right? It's like, I didn't plan on getting to 100 million. It's like, I wanted to do another 500,000.
Right.
And I was just trying to figure that out, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was trying to figure out how to get another million. And then it started snowballing slowly but surely, right?
Yeah, like adding that 1% and improving yourself 1% every day.
Oh, yeah. If you improve something every day, whether that's answering the phones a little faster, talking more, just creating a better customer experience, filling out invoices better, like all this stuff, it adds up. I tell my team all the time, what's the difference between a sale and not a sale, right? Mm-hmm. It's 51%. They have to want to do business with you more than they don't want to. That's it.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
And everything you do adds or removes a percentage or two, right? There's no haymakers like, this is my 60% move, right? It just doesn't exist, right? So getting those small percentages, like, it turned into a lot of revenue over time.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a really good point too, because like there's not one thing that you do. Like, it's a lot of small things. And and people ask me like, well, how do you automate? Because I do so much automation. They're like, how do you automate this stuff? And like, I was like, how long do you have? How much time do you have? Because like, it's one thing leads into another thing that leads into another thing. It turns into a snowball. And it's like, yeah, we have great customer service, but it didn't happen by accident. We definitely are deliberate on a lot of different things. And looking outside of the industry, bringing stuff in from outside the industry, and like, oh, that works really well for, carpet cleaning. Let's see if it works here, and hotels or whatever. And so in the marketing aspect of things, have you ever run into a situation to where you've like done a jam up job with your marketing and you're getting the leads coming in, but you, on the operation side, something is falling through the cracks. And so you're like, you feel like you're wasting money, or you are wasting money because your leads are coming in, but you're not getting them converted or closed.
Oh yeah, we never ever run into issues. That's never happened where we make mistakes or drop the ball. Like, no, for sure. The entire history of Parker and Sons, Review Kangaroo, Clover Marketing, all the things, I've never made a mistake, right? No, that's not how it works. Of course that's happening, man. It's really about, realizing things fast, adjusting quicker. A lot of people say, measure twice, cut once. Like, just cut the thing, man.
Yeah.
Cut it, and if it's wrong, like, we'll go get a new one.
There you go.
So like, it's really about fast transition and figuring out as fast as you can. Like, when you're growing at that size and that speed, we'll add 24 million this year.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't not make mistakes. You can't predict everything that's going to happen. You can't stay ahead of issues. You just have to react really, really fast to them and have them and mitigate them, right? Have them happen as little as possible.
So,
and just like you said, like, it's like each stage has been different. When we were doing stuff at 6.5 million, what we're using to grow is not what we're using at 10. It wasn't what we're using at 20. And it's not what we're using at 100. Yeah. Like, now we're all about automation. That's what Review Kangaroo does, right? Mm-hmm. It's automate business for home service companies, specifically reviews and marketing, right? But
absolutely,
it's all like, the moment we started automating, it's not like we didn't, upset people because we didn't know what we were doing for the first few years, right?
Right.
And I was like, stop pestering me. Like, okay, that's too much. Let's dial it back a little bit and see if it still works, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I know that whenever I first started with any kind of email marketing, I felt like I was pestering people, but then I talked to someone and they say, you're not sending enough. I'm like, well, geez, I feel like I'm really annoying these people. But so like, I like what you said there with, done is finished than perfect, and a lot of people will just analysis paralysis, just keep analyzing everything. And like, if I could just make this work, this is going to make me $100 million. But I like what you said there. Just get it done, get it out there, put it in front of the masses. If it's perfect, then you're putting it out. Whenever it's perfect, then it's too late. You put it out too late.
I mean, I can't tell you how many, like, this is a real thing. Like, when I talk about our growth, or like the growth we've had at Review Kangaroo, or how we helped businesses grow, like, to be perfectly clear, I'm not some genius all-star guy. Paul is not. None of the team are. I mean, we have some really strong players, but if we can do it, anybody do it. And really, the difference between us and what most companies do is, if we have an idea, we implement. We just go do it. And a lot of times that means we're running the wrong direction, but we figure it out quickly and we turn around, right? A lot of people do exactly what you say. They stay in the same place and expect things to change and for it to grow and to be exciting. Like, and if you're not willing to take those risks and you're not willing to fail, this is gonna be a rough business. In general is gonna be rough, but our industry especially is going to be rough.
So what exactly did you, like, why did you start up Review Kangaroo first? And then second, what is Review Kangaroo?
Yeah, we're really the industry's leading reputation management system, but we're much more than that. So like, if you need reviews on Google, Yelp, Facebook, we're without doubt the company you should be working with, but it's beyond that. We've grown. That was our original concept in our original software, and really it was built because we had an issue at Paker and Sons, and I did consulting all across the United States, and everybody was having this issue, and they were using, we're not going to name names, but they were using other software, and they were getting like 2% response rates, 1% response rates. They do 100 calls a day and they got 4 reviews on Google a month.
Wow.
It's like, wow, that's not right. Like, that's not good. Like at Paker and Sons, we get like 10 to 15 reviews a day.
Wow.
Some days we'll have 30, 40, right? We have small companies, or I say small, that's not fair, but $5 million companies that get 2 or 3 reviews every single day. It was an issue we were running into, and I didn't know how to fix it, and I tried to buy it, and I couldn't buy something that I thought worked efficiently, right? And I kind of sat everybody in a room that I knew that was really big business. I'm like, how can we do this differently? Because like, none of us think this is working. Let's come up with a plan. And we did, right? Now that was the original concept. Since then, we've grown quite a bit. So we have our jam sessions, which is our monthly membership content, where we take a business owner and they break down something really amazing they're doing. Like an example would be like ASI Hastings at San Diego added plumbing. They did a whole presentation, like when they decided to add plumbing and why. How they find the person to do it. Here's the ad they used. How do they figure out truck stock? Like, because they don't know how to use truck stock. Here's the truck stock they use. Like, step by step, not just how to do it, but like not high in the clouds, but like literal. Hey, here's how we did it. Here's the sheet we use. Here's the ad that we use. Here's the interview process. I'm giving it to you, right? That's a big concern of mine. The industry in general, a lot of industry, like I can't tell you how many conferences I've been to, and like they have this amazing idea and they're selling me on it. And I'm like, I love it. I'm going to do it right now. I get back to the hotel room. I sit in front of the computer. I'm like, wait a second.
How?
I have no idea how to do it. Exactly. Right. So, we have our jam sessions. We have a really intricate email system for drip campaigns, which almost no business or, nobody in our business does, which is unbelievable. It's so cheap to generate so much leads. We do the same thing with text messaging. We have a direct integration with Google now. We have an SEO play on your website. Like it's gotten pretty crazy now.
That is in depth. I mean, I feel like it's probably been a year or two since when did y'all first start up? I feel like that's about whenever I first started.
We started like 3 years ago, but we really only started probably selling 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, it took us a little bit over a year to get the base technology down and to go through all the beta testing and making sure everything works. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we didn't nail it the first day either, right? Like, now we have a 15% response rate. So if you go to those 100 calls, we'll get you 15 reviews on average, right? At first, it was like 4%. We're like, oh, we're killing the competition, but that's still horrible. Yeah. So like, it's been a process, man.
That's cool. That is really interesting. So, on that, do you integrate with any of the programs out there, the CRMs?
Dude, almost all of them. I was literally at Service Titan this week. I just flew back from Glendale
Okay.
yesterday or last night. So
That's what's up.
yeah,
So
man, I was meeting with Ara and Vahe and the whole crew
yeah,
down there.
that's what's up. Yeah. I actually just finished an interview with them too. But uh, whenever the review process with Service Titan, because I'm
Yeah,
familiar with Service Titan, I can't
yeah.
really talk about Field Edge. But so with Service Titan, is it very similar to how it currently is? Because for
From
those who
so
are listening that
yeah.
don't know Service Titan, they as soon as we leave the house, we leave the geofence, it automatically sends a text message and asks for basically we have our Google link in it. That's what we do currently. Just we have our Google review link, and then they click on it. They give us 5-star, 1-star, whatever they
Mhm.
deserve. Is it similar to that process, or how does it work?
So, simple answer to a complicated question.
Yeah.
Is it similar to that process from the tech standpoint where they really don't have to do anything?
Uh,
Yes. Is it similar from the business standpoint where they don't have to do anything? Yes.
okay.
Is it similar from the customer standpoint where it's very easy to use? Yes. But all the in between is
It's all
much more
different.
sophisticated. Like they have a really basic system for doing that, right? Like we have a complicated system on our end, right?
Yeah.
It's no different it's actually easier for the customer because we all log them in, we auto populate the stars, we make it super, super simple for them, right? From the technician standpoint, it's exactly the same. Hey, we leave a job, it's already being done, I don't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
But all the back end stuff is significantly more intricate, builds a lot more value, gets a lot higher response rates.
Sweet. So does it just go into Google, or does it
Google,
go?
Yelp, Facebook. I'm the only one who can do Yelp, which is unbelievable. I'm
Oh,
the only
cool.
one who plays by the rules, although Yelp is still a pain.
Yeah.
I have a 40% land rate, which sounds amazing compared to everybody else, but I hate it. Meaning if you got like 10 reviews on Yelp, like 4 will end up in the recommended section. Still
Gotcha.
6 unrecommended, which is
That's
painful.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I know. That's still better than what everybody else is getting, but yeah.
I know. I agree. But
But yeah, we can work with Home Advisor. I mean, we're partnered with Home Advisors, Angie's
okay.
List, Facebook, everything, man.
Does it like check to see if they're already, what's the best way to ask this? Are they, do you check and see if they're already a member of a certain site before you recommend which one to put the rating on?
So kind of,
Is that
right?
how
So
that
we
works?
leave it, we provide multiple options,
Okay.
but we're looking at their cookies and their history and going through if they're on their phone as well, which most people leave a review on their phone, right?
Yep.
And we're pulling that information so they don't have to log in and, because if you have to ask them to log in, it's just
Right.
not going to work very well. So kind of a combination, I guess. It's a little bit more. It's one of those things like we can talk about this for an hour,
right.
and if you saw it for 5 minutes, you're like, "Oh my God, it's genius! I get it now."
Makes
And an hour later, over the phone, you'd be like, "Well, I still don't
No, I get it completely. So, what happens if we really did a crappy job and they want to leave a 1-star review? Like we totally dropped the ball. Yeah.
we screen them out." So like, if they have a bad experience on like other review platforms, I'm going to give you the chance to try to fix it. So
Okay.
instead of that going to Google and becoming 1-star and becoming permanent on your record, which is a pain and
Yeah.
a lot of times really unfair, if we're being honest,
Mhm.
I'm going to send it directly to you and let you contact the customer, find out exactly what's going on, let you know which team member was involved in it, and have you fix the problem, and more importantly, save that customer.
Yeah. Save the customer. And then if it is a legit problem within your business, fix it, solve that problem.
Yep.
So you don't have this concern again.
Oh yeah, we'll even do like, how often does this come up? Like, is this an issue with the entire company or just this team member or like,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's really good to know, because you may have a new recruit that looks one way in the office and then are around whenever they're around employees, but then when they get in the field, they're completely different, and you don't know that. So especially when you have
if
so
you're not
many
using a
like
system
you.
like ours, that takes months to figure out, right?
Oh yeah. And
you're burning customers in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. You could really be burning through tons of customers and tons of potential revenue. I mean, it's yeah. I've actually experienced that. Like I had a guy, and I had him for like 6 months, and finally I was like, this guy's like, I feel like he's ripping people off. And then after I got rid of him, people would call me or I would talk to them passing and networking, and they say, yeah, man, that's why we quit using you, because we just really didn't trust that guy. I was like, what the hell? Why didn't you
say something? Why didn't you tell me? Yeah.
We see each other all the time. Like, I have a concern.
Yeah, people don't do that, man. People don't do that.
I agree 100%. So that's really cool. And the scary thing is like, I hate using the word they, but they say that if you want to think, actually, I think it was, who wrote that book? Hug Your Haters. I can't remember who wrote that book, but the book called Hug Your Haters, they were talking about be thankful for the person that gives you the 1-star review or gives you the bad feedback, because most people that don't like you don't like your service. They're just going to go away. Like what I was saying, the people that I know from networking, they just went away, and I just happened to bump into them again and earn their service back.
Yeah, you assume they're good, and you had no idea that you lost their business, and because of that, you had no chance to save it. That's why having such a high response rate is such a big deal, man. Like we pre-warn companies, like, this is a real conversation we have, is like, hey, we're going to get you way more positive reviews, generally hundreds within the first month, right? But some of those are going to be negative. So if you're used to getting like one bad call a week, like, you might get several a day at first, like, especially at first, right? Because you're just getting feedback, like, don't be mad at us.
It's not me.
Some people are. Like, some people are, I'm getting all these negative reviews. I'm like, yeah, but they don't hurt you. Would you prefer not to know about them? Like, what do you want me to do here? Like,
right. No,
so I want to know, but yeah, I'm not happy about this. I'm like,
I'm just gonna lash out at you because I got a bad review. Yeah, no, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, that's all right. That's crazier cool. Things have happened.
Yeah, I totally believe it. And so, your marketing company, are you still pretty active with that? Are you still doing that, or is it
Clover Marketing? You're saying?
Yeah, Clover Marketing.
Yeah, I do some consulting. Okay. I mean, I'm fairly familiar with the industry, obviously. Right. So I just went to a company out in Charlotte, and I do that, once or twice a month. I have a few clients I still work with. I really, dived into. And just helping them grow their business. Like, I was just in Chicago. I helped a company grow from, I want to say 3.5 to this year they'll do 11 in
nice.
4 years.
Oh, wow.
And like, I got a whole bunch of case studies like that. Yeah. I'm really still active in that, but it's kind of like, that's a passion for me. Like, I do that and I make some money off of it, but it's really like, I have to really like the person. I have to enjoy them, because I'm going to spend a lot of time with them. And I'm pretty selective on who I'm willing to do that with.
Oh yeah. Oh, I get it 100%. Especially when it comes to like a passion project like that. Cool. So if somebody wants to learn more about Review Kangaroo, other than just Googling it, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Honestly, why don't you shoot me a direct email? I'm pretty accessible. A lot of people are surprised that, they'll call in and occasionally get me to answer the phone, right? You can just email me at josh@reviewkangaroo.com. It's REVU, kangaroo.com. Fair warning, I am way less responsive than my team. So if you need something quick, email info@reviewkangaroo.com, and you'll catch one of my team members. But I still check my email. I'm going to go through it. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's the way I am. Whenever on my emails, I set up an autoresponder, because I'm that way. I just like, I try to check them twice a day, but like when I'm at events like this, it might be the end of the week by the time I check all my emails.
Dude, I get like almost 1,000 emails a day now. It's crazy. Yeah. Between that and like, I was helping out a company called Pulse, which is kind of like the Uber of home services, which is pretty exciting. Like, I was just talking to Service Titan. The reason I was at Service Titan is they're talking about potentially having me come in and do some work with them. Like I've got so much shit anymore. I don't think
I totally get it. Especially once you get good at that niche, and you get, especially once you get some recognition for it, and then people are like, oh, can you do this? And you're like, actually, that's a really good idea. Like, I don't know why anybody else hadn't thought about that. Let me try.
Well, that's one of my strengths and weaknesses. Like, oh, that's a good idea. A lot of people will be like, okay, let me think about that. Let me put it in my back pocket. I'm like, no, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're going. And sometimes it's like, oh, now I'm doing too much.
But also, I mean, like you said, that's how y'all grew the company. Like,
yeah, that's how I grew the company. That's how I grow personally. That's how I do that with everything, man.
Cool. I that's admirable for sure. Like, who was it saying something? It could have been Mike Aguilera, and he was saying something to the effect of, how many items do you have in your Amazon shopping cart? And like, if you have a whole lot of items in there, you're the type of person that, like, you hesitate too much. You just like, pondering on stuff. Should I buy this? I don't know. Maybe it'll go on sale. Like, just pull the trigger. Get it shipped to the house. If you hate it, send it back. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I got nothing on my Amazon wish list. I can promise you that. And that could be a positive thing, and sometimes like a bite in the butt because I'm like, why did I buy this?
Exactly, 100%.
But yeah, at least I know I don't want it now.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, coming on the podcast, and I know that the listeners really value it. And we didn't dive too much into like reputation management, but if you don't know anything about reputation management, reach out to the team over at Review Kangaroo. You'll learn a ton. Go on their website, check it all out. I'll add links in the show notes also. But I really thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Thank you, Josh, for coming on. And I really appreciate that. I know you're a super busy guy. You have tons of shit going on all different directions. I understand completely. I feel you. I appreciate it again for coming on the show.
No, I appreciate you having me, and I hope people enjoy this and get some value off of it.
Cool, man. Well, in closing, if anybody's listening has any questions, again, you have Josh's email address in the link. If you found value in this and you're on Instagram, take a screenshot of your phone, listen to the app, whatever, Google, iTunes, where are we? We're everywhere. And add it to your stories, tag me, tag Josh, and I'd love to connect with you. Like you heard about my autoresponder, if you'd like to test it out, if you don't do it, it's really good for business owners that still communicate with clients a lot. So you can just limit the expectations of your clients. So if it's an emergency, they can just call the office. It tells them, if this is an emergency, please call the office, versus I'll get back to you twice a day. And if anybody is interested in seeing exactly what mine says, just send me a message. It's tersh@icebound.us, and just say I'm testing the autoresponder or whatever. But again, Josh, thank you for coming on the show, and I look forward to talking to everybody again next week on the Service Business Mastery, the podcast focused on service business owners, managers, and technicians who are considering becoming business owners themselves.
Well, thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks.